For Lesson 5, let's look at multiplying whole numbers and something we call area of objects. First, multiplication of 2- and 3-digit numbers requires us to line up the digits once again, and then to multiply the ones place times both of all the numbers in the first number, and then the tens place, and then we add together. In other words, we have to do multiplication and addition. Now, I know you're used to using a calculator when you're multiplying numbers that are this size, but for this class and for the test that you will have, you will not have the use of the calculator, so it's going to be important that you practice these problems without the use of a calculator. Let's just take a look at example number 1, 526 times 23. The first number we multiply by is the 3 that's in the ones place. So we will say 3 times 6, which is 18, and I'll carry my 1. Then I say 3 times 2, which would be 6, plus 1 is a 7. And last I say 3 times 5 would be 15. Next, I'm going to multiply times the 2 that is in the tens place, so I'm going to have to put a placeholder down of a 0 for that ones place. I'll say 2 times 6 is 12, carry my 1, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 2 times 5 is 10. Once again, be very careful lining up the place values. Finally, I'll add the two products that I've multiplied. I'll say 8 plus 0 is 8. 7 plus 2 is 9. 5 plus 5 is 10. I carry my 1 and say 1 plus 1 is 2. And then I just bring down my 1. The answer, 12,098. For example 2, I've got some really large numbers to multiply. 593 times 47 times 0. Notice that in algebra we sometimes use parentheses to tell us to multiply. When there's nothing else between the numbers, there's nothing between the parentheses, that means the parentheses are there to tell us to multiply. Well, I could start by saying 593 times 47, but that's a huge number, and I'm going to turn around and multiply the product of those two times 0. We know that anything multiplied times 0 gives us an answer of 0. So I don't even have to begin the multiplication process. If one of my numbers that I'm multiplying is 0, it doesn't matter what the others are, the answer will be 0. Example 3 is not quite that easy, but it is still pretty simple. First, we're going to say 589 times 110. Now, I have nothing in the ones place to multiply. I'm going to have to put down a 0 to hold my place there. Then I say 1 times 9, 1 times 8, and 1 times 5. I'm going to next multiply times the one that's in the hundreds place. I'll put down 2 zeros to hold the places, and I'll once again say 1 times 9, 1 times 8, and 1 times 5. These two numbers have to be added together. So I'm being very careful to line up my place values. 0 plus 0, 9 plus 0. 8 plus 9 is 17, plus 1 will give me 6 plus 8, which is 14. Carry my 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. The answer is 64,790. Now let's take a look at this final couple of examples. Example 4, note that it says they want us to find the area and the perimeter of each of these two rectangles. Now we did perimeter before. Remember, perimeter is an outside measurement, but area is different. It is an inside measurement. Let's look at the difference of these two. Perimeter is always listed in linear feet or linear inches. In other words, it's just a straight line, while area is going to be listed in square feet or square inches or whatever the unit is. For perimeter, the operation we use most of the time, it's addition. For area, we're going to use multiplication. Now, take a look at the first example. Example 4. If I wanted the perimeter of this rectangle, I would have to say 9 inches. I've got to add the 4 sides. Well, the sides that I don't have listed are exactly the same size as their opposite sides. So I'm going to write down here real quick 9 inches and 7 inches for those. For perimeter, I'm going to say 9 plus 9 plus 7 plus 7. One other formula for perimeter of a rectangle that you might be familiar with is perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And that's exactly what we have here. 2 times the length of 9 would give us 18, plus 2 times the width of 7 would give us 14. If we add 18 and 14 together, I'll write it vertically so you can see what I'm doing. We would say 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry my 1. 1 and 1 and 1 is going to give me 3. And the answer would be 32. And it's going to be linear inches, or just inches. Let's look at area. Area of a rectangle is equal to length times the width. That's the formula. In other words, for this example, area is going to equal 9 times 7, or 63. It's once again the unit is inches, but with area we always have to say square inches because area is the inside measurement of an object. In other words, if this was a room, area would be the amount of carpet that we would need for the floor. Example 5 is exactly the same way. We have 11 feet for the side that's unknown over here and 4 feet for this side that's unknown. Perimeter then is going to be 11 plus 11 plus 4 plus 4. We could say that perimeter is 2 times 11 plus 2 times 4. In other words, perimeter is going to equal 22 plus 8, or 30 feet. Remember, perimeter is linear feet, or linear units. The area of this rectangle is once again going to be length times width. The length of it, we'll say is 4. It doesn't really matter which one you say is length and which one you say is width, because 4 times 11 is the same as 11 times 4. It's going to be 44 square feet.